Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day it is. Welcome to Miss Perkins Literature class. It's so nice to have you here for day 2 of learning. And we are going to do what we do, which is get started to learn. Right. And I have to move all of this out the way. Okay, so this is lesson number 2. All right, so our learning target is I can identify supporting details in order to identify the main idea in nonfiction text. All right, so last lesson, we focused in on supporting details in nonfiction text. So we looked at actually nonfiction text first, and then we looked at supporting details. And if you remember, the supporting details that we focused in on were fact and opinion. So we're going to do a quick review before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's lesson. So remember, nonfiction text is text about real people, events, ideas, and places. Nonfiction text also has text features. So it's things on the text that pop out, such as a heading, subheading, bold print, italicized words, images, graphs, charts, illustrations, and captions. So our critical vocabulary words from yesterday were fact, opinion, and supporting details. So fact is information that can be verified as true or false. I don't know what happened here. Let me move my little man up here. Can be verified as true or false. Opinions, someone's view, beliefs, or feelings about something, and supporting details, information that supports, defines, or explains the main idea. So then we got into a little bit more details about our facts. So you want to look for sentences with specific information. Ask, can this be proven by checking or looking in a book, searching online, or by asking someone? Or is it something that we've observed with our own eyes? Example, Abraham Lincoln was 6 feet and 4 inches tall. That is a statement that is factual because we can Google it. We can look in books about Abraham Lincoln. We can look at encyclopedias. I mean, we can go back and verify whether that information is indeed factual. So that is a fact statement. So then when we think about opinions, we want to look for sentences with a writer's feelings, beliefs, or thoughts. So we ask ourselves, do I see words or phrases that show someone's opinion? So for example, that's the worst sandwich ever, or it was scary and dangerous. Worst sandwich, that's opinion. You know, even though I may not like the sandwich, someone else may like the sandwich. The words scary and dangerous, those are also indications of someone's feelings, right? So anything that has to do with feelings, thoughts, or beliefs are actually opinion statements. All right, so I'm going to review what we looked at yesterday. So we looked at each one of these sentences yesterday, and I know the red is like pow, but I wanted to make sure that you were able to see the clues. Let me get my little clue. You were able to see the clues that we found yesterday that helped us to identify the statements as fact statements or opinion statements. So in the first one, we found the clues. 48% of households in the US own dogs and 38% own cats. We can look that up. That is a factual statement. And the second one, it says cat lovers argue that their pets are easier to care for than dogs. Again, we had the clue word easier, and so we know that that's an opinion statement. Okay, so then we have cat owners spend $300 to $800 less per year than dog owners. We also have the American Pet Products Association. Those are all clues, right? And those are fact clues because we can go in and we can actually go somewhere. We can look in a book, we can do a Google search, we can find out, we can verify that statement. So it's a factual statement. I mean, a fact statement, excuse me. All right, so then I want you to take a minute and I want you to find the clues that are in red, and then think about, fact or opinion, and think about how those clue words helped you to identify or would help you to identify whether or not the statement is a fact or opinion statement. Great job. So more, social, affectionate, those are all indications that that's an opinion statement. We know because those are feelings. Scientists who studied the brains of both, it sounds like, looks like, that's something that can be verified. So again, that would be fact statement, okay? So we want to make sure that we're always paying attention to those things as we are reading and finding our supporting details and thinking about what we're reading. So today's learning target is going to be, I can identify supporting details in order to identify the main idea of nonfiction text. So we have critical, essential, important vocabulary words. And these vocabulary words are going to help us to better understand the meat and potatoes of today's lesson, which is to use supporting details to identify the main idea of a text. All right, so we have two key vocabulary words that we have to be familiar with: topic and main idea. So topic is the subject of a reading selection. So it could be, and a selection could be a paragraph, it could be an essay, it could be, a couple paragraphs, it could be a sentence. Main idea, the point of a text, who or what a text is about. All right, so when we think about a topic sentence, it is the subject of a reading selection, and it helps us to identify the main idea. And we want to ask ourselves, what subject is most frequently mentioned? What word or phrase is repeated in the reading? So, for example, the prettiest land-dwelling creature is the cheetah. Well, that whole sentence is talking about its subject is the cheetah. Now, for main idea, the most important idea about the topic of a paragraph or a passage can be stated in the first or last sentence of the first paragraph, and you use your supporting details and ask questions like who, what, when, where, why, and how. So essentially what you want to do is, once you find that subject, right, that topic, so let's go back here, and the topic was, for this example sentence, is cheetah. But then you want to say, okay, well, what about the cheetah? Because it's not just, sometimes that is the main idea, where it's talking to you about cheetah and describing the cheetah. But oftentimes the topic helps to, I guess, get you to start thinking about, well, what about this topic is this text going to be about? Okay. So when you're looking for the main idea, you want to look for the topic, the sentence that expresses the most important idea, thought, or feeling, which is the topic. If it's not directly stated, you want to think about the supporting details. The main idea in the first or last sentence of the paragraph. These are the things that you want to think about. Again, you really want to hone in on that subject. What is it talking about? And then you want to think about, okay, so what about that subject? All right, so what I want you to do is we are going to stop, drop, and write. I'm going to turn on our thinking music. I want you to go back in the video, rewind it if you need to, and just make your own anchor chart or your own sketch notes to help you to better remember what it is that we just discussed. All right. So hopefully you're keeping all of these anchor charts and stop and drop notes, your sketch notes in a binder so that you can reflect on it later. So what I'm getting ready to do is, you can go pause me, you can go get your water, your juice, piece of paper, you can get a snack, your pen, your pencil, color pencils, crayons, markers, whatever it is that you want to use. Okay, and I'm going to play our thinking music. Hold on, it's coming. It's a little slower than normal. Sorry. It's very slow. My goodness. I would sing to you, but it would be a terrible, terrible thing. So what I'm going to say is, because it's taking so long, don't wait for the thinking music. When it comes on, it comes on. Until then, proceed with your anchor charts or your sketch notes. All right. I am back. If you are not finished, please feel free to pause me and continue on. All right, so again, on my whistle, we're getting ready to do another heavy lift. I hope that you're ready. I need for you guys to get prepared for your beast mode, because that's what's about to happen. We're going to use our supporting details to identify the topic. Beast mode. Get ready. About 48% of households in the US own dogs and 30% own cats. And what I'm going to do is, as I go, I'm going to record, and you can too, the clues that I consistently see, as frequently see, okay? So in that first sentence, I see dogs and cats. Cat lovers argue that their pets are easier to care for than dogs. Again, it's talking about cats and dogs. Cat owners spend $300 to $800 less per year than dog owners do. Again, let me look at my clues. That's right, we see cats and dogs. You guys are brilliant. You caught on right away. So we know that the topic and these supporting details has to do with cats and dogs. Now, that makes me wonder, what about cats and dogs will this be about? So yesterday you were charged with making predictions about what you thought the main idea was going to be. So today we're going to dig a little deeper and see if some of those predictions that you made were accurate, okay? If they were actually correct. So in order to do that, I'm going to give you a minute. So just in case, I want you to think back to what we've been reading. And now what we are going to do is we're going to see, and I'm going to write down my prediction. You can write down yours if you'd like to, or you can just keep it up here. Remember, this is heavy lifting, guys, heavy lifting. All right, so here we go. All right, so let's zoom in. And this is Scholastic. Make sure everyone knows. And let's see if I can make it bigger. So it says cats or dogs. So we knew that was going to be the topic, but what about cats or dogs? So let's read. I make this a little bit bigger, guys. All right. There's no question that Americans love both dogs and cats. About 48% of households in the US own dogs and 38% own cats, according to the American Pet Products Association. But one thing many people can't seem to agree on is which animal makes a better pet. All right. So whenever you debate something, this is titled debate, and this is my thinking. So whenever you have a debate, that means that there's like a conflict in opinion, right? So you have two people that may have two different perspectives, okay? So when it says cats or dogs, the debate has to do with someone liking cats and someone liking dogs. But then let me see what clues I can find in my actual paragraph that might assist me in identifying the main idea. So I'm going to reread. Good readers reread. You want to make sure that you know what's going on in the text so that you can answer the question correctly. So there's no question that Americans love both dogs and cats. So I'm going to highlight that. There's no question that Americans love both dogs and cats. Then it gives me additional details. It says about 48% of households in the US own dogs and 38% own cats, according to the American Pet Products Association. But one thing many people can't seem to agree on is which animal makes a better pet. I think I found my main idea. Which animal makes a better pet? Okay. So what I'm going to do is now, for your homework, not even homework because you don't have any, you can do it if you want. If your additional practice, you want some, and identifying the main idea and finding facts and opinions, you will have additional work that I'm going to put on it's called a choice board. And you can choose to practice identifying main idea and supporting details, or you can practice finding facts and opinions. It's totally up to you, okay? And so I'm also going to include on here this particular article because what I want you to do is I want you to think about which pet do you prefer? Do you prefer dogs or cats? Okay, so I'm going to leave it right there and I'm going to come back over here. And so that was pretty heavy lifting, right? We did so much over the last 2 days. We did nonfiction text. We did fact and opinion. We did supporting details. Today, we added on topic and we added on main idea. And we put all of that thinking together in order to accomplish our objective, which was to use supporting details to determine or identify the main idea of a text. So job well done. You guys did an excellent job with your case. Excellent job. See you next time. Don't forget, if you wish to do additional practice or have additional practice, please check out the choice board. I will see you next time. Bye. Oops. Bye.